Breaking news. This is huge. It has just been revealed that Abu Dhabi is buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. They didn't want to make this public. They had to make this public that their sovereign wealth fund bought $436 million of Bitcoin ETFs in Q1. Seems like BlackRock has been facilitating this. Like, I don't think the market has fully priced in the long-term effects of BlackRock endorsing this.
I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, but it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin.
And it's not just Bitcoin. I want to talk about other crypto coins that will do well here. Make sure you watch the entire video. And you have to imagine there's zero possibility that the US does not follow in some way. Prepare for a US strategic Bitcoin reserve.
If we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's going to do it anyway. But if we don't do it, China's doing it. China's already doing it. And if we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. So we might as well be at the forefront. And who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
But how do you...
At the same time, things are happening behind the scenes that are so bullish you wouldn't even believe. Today, President Trump has nominated former crypto leadership, former CLO at Bitfury, Jonathan Gould, to be the country's new bank regulator to lead the Office of Comptroller of Currency, the new head of the OCC. Do you understand what a big deal this is for crypto? Let's think about it for a second. The new Comptroller of Currency of the US used to work at a Bitcoin mining company that invests in crypto projects. Let that sink in. It's 2025, the future is now. Bull market has not even gathered steam. And I really think that's right. If you look at where we are in the context of every other Bitcoin bull cycle, Bitcoin does this every cycle. New all-time high, a rally above the previous cycle's all-time highs, then dip, then price consolidates. This is where we are right now. Then a breakout, then a rally higher. Being bearish on Bitcoin today is like being bearish on Bitcoin every other time it consolidated above last cycle's all-time highs. Do you get it yet? And the sentiment for altcoins is really bad right now, but I do think this is the year where altcoins really shine. Even though we haven't really seen that except for a select few cases over the last few years, I do think still that 2025 is where altcoins really shine. I mean, actually take a look at the state of Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and this is kind of a microcosm for the entire altcoin market. Taking a look at ETH versus Bitcoin, we see healthy consolidation after a strong uptrend. We see that it's not in decline relative to Bitcoin over the long term. We see a massive wick low, significantly below the lower band. We see bullish divergence, and we see higher lows. Now, Trump coin pumped hard today, and I bring that up because we know that Donald Trump is not a Bitcoin maxi, could not be any farther from a Bitcoin maxi. So I think Bitcoin being part of the strategic reserve, I think that's obvious. I think the next obvious one would be Ethereum. So if you, like me, knowing what we know, seeing what we see, and if you're subscribed to our channel, we show you this on a daily basis, how could you not think another big catalyst is coming later this year? A U.S. strategic crypto reserve, definitely including Bitcoin. We're seeing Wall Street get more bullish as 21 Shares proposes adding staking to its Ethereum ETF. We're seeing the SEC at large preparing for staking in all ETFs, Ethereum, Solana, DOT, ADA. The SEC's crypto task force is discussing adding staking to their ETFs, which require staking, which at the moment is just ETH, will soon be others. They're talking with multiple crypto firms, including Gito Labs and Multicoin Capital, and more companies, institutions, entities, nation states, anybody and everybody seeming to have the same thought at this moment. Breaking news, GameStop is considering investing in Bitcoin and crypto. Right now, the three most popular chains to do stablecoin transactions in the US is Ethereum, Solana, and Tron. And we're seeing US companies use stablecoins, use crypto rails to facilitate their business better than they ever have before. Here, Robinhood's CEO, Vlad, articulates why Robinhood using crypto rails is a 10x improvement on the traditional infrastructure. This is incredibly bullish.
One of the things that we have to do to operate our crypto platform is facilitate transactions and settlements between cash and crypto 24/7. Particularly on weekends when the banks are usually not open and there's no way of transmitting dollars using banking rails on weekends. Stablecoins solve that problem because it's a 24/7 network that's running on software. And I think that just shows you just one of the advantages of crypto technology over the traditional financial system.
The Stablecoin Bill will be the first one that the US passes. Make no mistake about it. Although stablecoins might be boring to you, this is a huge deal for the US. And this will open up the capital market dam and allow tons of money to flow into the crypto space. I loved this 1-minute clip from Kevin L., the CEO of Borderless. Here he perfectly describes why the stablecoin bill in the US is such a big deal and what we can expect. Pay attention.
Let's talk about the stablecoin bill put forth in the Senate. It would create a definition for a stablecoin and create a licensing framework for issuers, along with some regulations around reserves. Talk to me about how the industry is feeling about this legislation and whether it hits the points that crypto leaders have been asking for.
Well, thanks for having me, Tanea. I think this is the 5th stablecoin proposed legislation that we've seen in the US in recent times. We saw the Lummis-Gillibrand proposal in 2022. There was a PWG report in 2021. There was the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins in 2023. And now we have the Genius Act, as the acronym is called, for 2025. And I think in general, this is by far the most comprehensive proposal that we've seen. And I think it's also one of the friendliest proposals that we've seen. It does a great job of balancing what is really at the core of the technology industry in America, which is innovation and competition, with also, on the other side, stiff penalties for those that abuse the system and strong protections of consumer assets. One of the things that's really important about the Genius Act that I think allows for this innovation is there's a dual regulatory framework where stablecoins have market caps of under $10 billion are going to be regulated by the states, and stablecoins of above $10 billion then are regulated by the OCC and the Federal Reserve. And that's really important because it means it's going to allow fintechs and other innovators to compete in this marketplace. And it's going to allow them to issue these smaller stablecoins. It lowers the barriers of entry of trying to innovate in the space. And then if you do get into the 10 billion and plus, where we really have to worry about consumer protections, then it steps up that regulation to the federal level, which is a pretty unique feature of this bill that I think everyone's excited about.
Why this versus some of the questions around securities and protections? How did this issue of stablecoins become sort of the low-hanging fruit?
I think the administration has made a lot of noise about reestablishing U.S. dominance globally. And stablecoins are one of the best ways for the U.S. to export the U.S. dollar around the world. And this stablecoin bill is really positioned around supporting USD dominance, requiring that assets that are backing stablecoins be held in U.S. treasuries, and therefore driving more demand for treasuries and treasury-like assets. And I think we've seen stablecoins come first, mostly because it's really important to the general administration's interests to be putting that USD at the forefront and to really be taking our currency and to be exporting it globally.
So I may be biased. I mean, I've drank the Kool-Aid. I am a believer in this space. But do I think where we are today is a good entry point over the next couple weeks, is a good entry point to maybe get into your favorite altcoins and favorite cryptocurrencies? I do. Obviously, if you were following us for years, we told you about crypto at the lows. But I think where we are right now also could be a good entry point, particularly if we can dip lower, but certainly at this consolidation level right here. Because the consolidation level right here, I think very similar to right here, very similar to right here, very similar to right here. So knowing what we know about Abu Dhabi, knowing what we know about BlackRock, about the Bitcoin cycles, about the Trump support, about the US capital markets and Wall Street becoming pro-crypto, knowing what we know about everything, and make sure you subscribe to our channel because we keep you updated on all of this on a daily basis. We know Bitcoin is a buy. Obviously, we know that Bitcoin is a buy. We know Abu Dhabi is going to keep buying Bitcoin, but we know more than Bitcoin is a buy. Other coins I think you should be looking at, and please comment what altcoins you think fit into this. I know I'm going to get, the XRPs. XRP is fine. I definitely go Ethereum and Solana, obviously. I'd go Chainlink and Ondo as well, especially if you take a look into Trump's wallet. Could you put Tron on the list? You could put Tron on the list. Again, comment what coins you think fit into this. Make sure you subscribe to our channel because actually we're going to drop a video in a few days. We'll be revealing a lot more information than just this. But to add to today's video, maybe put Borg token on the list for an international play, Human Hearts token for an AI play. It's pretty obvious what's going on, and we'll have more on this coming week, so make sure you subscribe and see you tomorrow.